Welcome to this Monday morning. Our guest for today is Tom Asciola, the managing partner, the CEO of Apex Air Duct Cleaning and Chimney Services. And hold on, just before, here's Steve from JGS. He's back with us. Welcome back, Steve. Take it away. Tell us a little bit about you, your company. What do you do?
Hey guys, good morning. So we specialize in fire protection as far as we do dry vent cleanings and chimney inspection and cleanings. We also specialize in air duct cleaning.
All right. And that's kind of interesting, especially for us because of the fire protection thing. But what makes your approach to dry vent cleaning different than anybody else?
That's great. So we don't only just clean dry vents. When we do dry vent cleaning, all my technicians are trained to do a full inspection. It's basically a safety inspection, making sure that everything adheres to the local building codes as well as our certification program training.
Okay.
All right.
So you spoke about education. How do you educate the guys that go out there and do this for you? I mean, there's got to be some sort of instruction for that, no?
Yeah, Steve. So it starts out with certification from the Chimney Safety Institute of America. They have a program that all my technicians go through. They get a certification license to perform this service. Well as we have a very in-house vigorous training program that all of my technicians, before they go into a truck, they go through this vigorous training throughout a 90-day period. So it's very intense. So when they hit the road, they're very well trained.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, because you don't service coast to coast. You're a local guy. You do New Jersey, some Pennsylvania. But what certification should a property manager look for in other places to make sure that the techs that they are hiring, the companies that they're hiring, is actually properly certified?
Great question. So it's CSIA. It's the Chimney Safety Institute of America. That's that's our staple right there.
CSIA, you said?
Correct. Yep. It's the Chimney Safety Institute of America. Yep.
All right. So also speaking to the managers and some people that may not be aware of the process, like how often do you clean out the lint from your dryer? First, let's start there.
Well, the lint filter should be changed. Should be cleaned after every load of clothes. Okay. If that lint filter gets clogged, it gets so clogged it can cut off the airflow to the dryer. If it cuts the airflow off to the dryer, it can make the dryer overheat and possibly go on fire.
All right.
Gotcha. Now, is that where the main reason why fire starts typically, or due to dryer? Because we're here, there's thousands of them every year. But is that typically what the problem is?
Yeah, great. So here's what happens. Dryers do not go on fire. It's the lint that builds up inside the dryer that actually goes on fire. And there's three major triggers that cause the dryer to overheat. Number one is going to be the lint filter. If the lint filter is clogged, it's going to overheat the dryer. And if you put too much clothes in the dryer, it cuts off the airflow, makes the dryer overheat as well. And the third being a dryer vent. If the dryer vent becomes clogged with either lint or a bird's nest, it makes the dryer overheat and catches that lint inside the dryer, and that's where your fire starts.
Okay. So, Tom, I gotta say, I've worked with you before on providing some education for boards and managers out there, and you got to be the only guy that I've ever worked with that actually lights things on fire during a webinar. You're in your car, please don't do it. We don't want to be responsible. No. So, oh boy, here we go, and here we go.
That's the slinky foil that you're not supposed to use. Okay.
That's the stuff that you see. It's the most common one that everybody sees, and you're not supposed to use it. Why? Because it's flammable.
It is. This is that slinky foil that everybody puts behind their dryer, and they're unaware that this actually acts like a wick. So we discussed before, that the dryer fire starts inside the dryer, and if you have this inferior product on the back of your dryer, it takes the fire from inside the dryer out into your home. Oh, wow. So that is very, very important. So part of our inspection process is that this is one of the first things that we look for to make sure that you have a semi-rigid code compliant material behind the dryer that's solid and it's not flammable.
What's that called? What is that piece actually? What's the technical term for the piece that goes between the dryer and the wall?
Okay, great. This is a transition duct.
Okay.
So this is the transition duct that attaches the clothes dryer to the existing wall of the home.
Okay.
So and so you have multiple bends and so I'm having a hard time with the camera because it's opposite.
Okay.
So anyway, just don't mind me.
All right. And how often do you clean that part?
That goes every 2 years, like with the rest of the system.
Okay.
So so whenever we do a cleaning, we do both the transition duct and also the main duct.
Okay.
Now, what's the alternative? So let's say, you have a builder grade condo and you have like this dryer on the second floor is going through the attic. You have like the cheap flimsy pipe. What's the solution there? Should they replace that to a hard pipe? What's the solution?
So that's a great question. So we go ahead and we find this in a lot of older communities built in like the 70s and the 80s, where they have just transition duct installed in the walls, and then it travels over the ceilings and stuff. And that's totally against building code. It was against building code back then, and it is now. And we always recommend changing it to metal rigid pipe. So that's a key thing because it contains the fire. It won't spread through a metal pipe.
All right.
So, it's a much better system.
Okay. Quick question for you. So let's say we are on a schedule and we have policies in place and our ducts and our vent lines and the conduits are being cleaned on a schedule. But is there anything that will tell us if there's an obstruction in between those cleanings? Like what if there's a problem that comes up in between?
So the two early warning signs of a clogged dryer vent is that your dryers, instead of taking the average of 40 minutes to dry a load, you notice that now you're taking 60 minutes or 70 or 80 minutes. You'll see that the extended time will, it'll take longer to dry your clothes. And the second thing will be that your clothes are hot when they come out. When they usually have that cool down system. So there's two things. Those are two early warning signs that your dryer is very, very hot to the touch, and also that it's taking too long to dry your clothes.
Okay.
Interesting. Now on that topic too, if we go back to the attic, I just have a quick question on this because here in the Northeast it gets obviously real cold in the winter. Is there like insulation that you should have in the duct? If it vents through the roof, like we see oftentimes in condos, when you have a dryer, washer dryer, second floor, it will go through the roof. Is there a insulation it should have, or is condensation ever a problem with the duct?
All the time. We see this all the time, Dave. So what happens is this: a lot of builders, they'll shortcut it and just throw the pipe it goes through the ceiling up through the roof. But that space between that attic and the roof, space between the ceiling and the roof of the attic is, that's cold. It's, it's unheated. And if that's not insulated, what happens when that hot air from the dryer meets that cold air in the attic, you cause condensation. With the condensation, the lint starts sticking to the sides like a paper mache, and it starts really closing it up like your arteries. Okay. So it's a very, very important thing to have it insulated to keep it from building up that moisture.
Okay.
Very cool.
That's it. I know. Yeah, I've never heard about that before. Can I ask a question on behalf of the managers maybe out there or the boards? Let's say that we don't have a program in place, but we're interested. We hear about the dryer fires and we want to put some sort of program together for our association. Is that something that you could help us design, or is that something you could help us figure out how to do?
Sure, I do it all the time. I'll meet with the board actually, and then discuss a game plan, what's great for their community, and I'll look at the design of it and recommend either 1 year or 2 years, depending on the length of the pipe and so on and so forth and the configuration. So yeah, I could help out with many properties like that, and also I'll show a little how why it's important. You're gonna
show up with lights up on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Just why we do certain things, and so we can do a lot of consulting work that way to help out the boards.
Okay. Now you just mentioned some things that intrigued me about the length of the pipe. Is there like a code length that you need to respect? And
absolutely.
Are the bands counting for extra length, or how does it work?
So the National Building Code says it's 35 feet minus 5 feet for every elbow. So every 90-degree turn is minus 5 feet. So your length cannot exceed that 35 feet.
Okay.
The other thing is important that in your instruction manual of the clothes dryer, those specific in directions have jurisdiction over all local building codes. So it's important to know that the manufacturer has the final say in the type of design and length of that particular dryer.
No
I
kidding.
didn't know that. Interesting.
No idea.
First time I heard that.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
either way, sorry, go ahead, Steve. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, I had no idea the manufacturer that their guidelines are going to supersede the local building codes. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Now let me ask you, Tom. In all these years of playing dryer event, what's the craziest thing that you found stuck up in an event?
Well, all right. So I stuck my hand in an event, and then when I stuck my arm in, it passed my elbow, so I couldn't bend my arm fast enough. And as I went in and I grabbed something, it started moving in my hand, and the reaction time was very slow to get my hand out of there. But it was a baby squirrel, and so that was a pretty nasty thing,
All right. Well, I appreciate that little tidbit. Steve, do you have anything fun for our guest today?
Well, I know Tom pretty well, and I think I got some questions here for him. But no, these are completely random, Tom. 1 or 2 with answers, yes or no. Real easy stuff, all right? You ready for a little bit of rapid fire?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, then we'll play friendly today. What's the last thing that you bought on Amazon?
Okay, I bought handle grips for my Harley.
Oh, very nice, very nice. All right, so gambler or not, what's your favorite casino game?
Roulette.
Okay. Now, all time, what do you think is the greatest invention ever?
That's a good one. I don't know. The greatest invention ever. TV.
Okay, all right.
We'll go with that.
Have you ever audibly objected at a wedding? Like when they say anybody in the room objects. Have you ever stood up and be like, I got something to say?
No.
I'm dying to see that one of these days. I've never seen it before. All right. Compared to an animal, how fast can you run? Like
not very fast.
We're talking goat? We talking llama? What are we talking? Tiger?
We're talking yeah, well, I don't know. We'll go with I don't know. It sounds good with a goat.
all right. Now, I personally, I try to stay away from doing business with family or friends, because things happen. Relationships, can be harmed. But have you ever had to fire a relative or a friend or a relative of a friend?
I had to fire my mother.
Oh boy. Oh boy!
Oh man, yeah.
Your mother?
A story for another time.
Oh my God. All right, moving on. A couple more. What's your least favorite state?
My least favorite state, California.
Okay. Is there a particular type of food that annoys you?
Yeah, anything with curry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Curry. All right. Last one, and then that's it. Have you ever missed a flight, an airline flight?
No.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much for playing with us today, Tom. Before we leave, we'll give you 10 seconds. You can plug for whatever you want. Favorite charity, your company, whatever. Go ahead. 10 seconds.
I just want to thank everybody who supports our company and gives us the opportunity to help with education and safety throughout their communities. Not only do I appreciate it, but my technicians really take pride in their work, and they're really proud to, help protect people out there.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Steve?
Tom, thanks for being a good sport, man. It's good to see you, buddy.
It's great seeing you, too.
Everybody, we'll see you next week on the next episode of Community Association Car Chat.